Compton. For years, sailed smooth and free. But sadly, Sir John Compton passed away. His team lost election that day, and the mantle passed over to Kenny and Team Labour. My blood crawl, things start to fall. Hold my head when I say that ball. If you hear it, Captain, the ship is sinking. Captain, seas are rough. We gas tank almost empty, no electricity. The oil pressure really low. Shall we abandon ship, or shall we stay on it and perish slow?
We don't know. We don't know. Captain, you tell me what to do. We don't know. We don't know.
The St. Lucia, oh, she was a beauty, with features that few surpassed. And in her day, she sailed majestically. There were few in her class. Faithfully, she fulfilled her sailor's needs, but labor was overpowered by greed, and so they pilfered slow, causing scandal and row. Now things look dull, she's at a lull. She could barely sit on a hull. Have we balling? Captain, the ship is sinking. Captain, the seas are rough. We gas tank almost empty, no electricity. The oil pressure reading low. Shall we abandon ship, or shall we sit on it and perish slow?
We don't know. We don't know. Captain, you tell me what to do.
I
don't
said
know.
no, I
We don't
said
know.
no. Captain, you tell me what to do. The St. Lucia, in her day of sailing, she was a friend, a true friend to one and all. And in her day, she sailed majestically. No government doing bubble. And yes, well, she always did her best to help out those in distress. Now she don't have money, we have to beg Joffrey. Labor boys don't share, none of them care. We must vote them out, I declare. Captain, the ship is sinking. Captain, the seas are rough. We gas tank almost empty, no electricity. The oil pressure reading low. Shall we abandon ship, or shall we sit on it and perish slow?
We don't know. We don't know. Captain, you tell me what to do. We don't know. We don't know.
You tell me what to do. Now there's a lot of fingers pointing. Suffering going on too long. Kenny must be blamed for all her failures. Labor must be blamed for doing us wrong. Now please remember, I'm warning you, we can't take 5 more years with this crew to hold the keys to her vault. Cause we know who's at fault. So it's up to you, it's up to we, to give the ship to you, WP.
Caribbean American News Media, your Tuesday night power hour. Live every Tuesday at 8:15 p.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and GVV TV channel 115. Join your host, Garfield Oliver, as he dives deep into the latest inclusion developments, regional affairs, and global issues that matter to you. From politics to the economy, community stories to international headlines. We cover it all with real talk and real insights. Stay informed, get the facts, be part of the conversation. Don't miss out. Set your reminders, share with your friends, and tune in. Caribbean American News Media, the news you report. Caribbean American News.
They stream the tears and the cheers so clear. From the church to the pitch, they're always near. Tie the knot or score the goal, my friend. GVD TV's got you till the end. They stream the highs, they stream the lows, from wedding vows to final shows. Through life's twists and the path it bends, GVD's there, it never ends.
Caribbean American community. Don't miss a moment of the action. Stay tuned to Caribbean American News Media Show for an immersive viewing experience like no other. Hashtag Caribbean American News, hashtag show, hashtag cultural celebration.
To work.
Welcome to the Caribbean American News Media Show, your premier destination for in-depth coverage, engaging discussions, and entertaining segments showcasing the rich tapestry of Caribbean American culture. Join us as we explore a wide range of topics, from current events and community spotlights to arts, music, cuisine, and more. Our show features exclusive interviews with influencers, artists, community leaders, and everyday heroes who are making a difference in the Caribbean American community. Stay informed and inspired with our thought-provoking segments that highlight the diversity, resilience, and creativity within our community. Tune into the Caribbean American News Media Show for a captivating blend of news, entertainment, and storytelling that celebrates the Caribbean American experience. Get ready to discover new perspectives, celebrate successes, and connect with the heartbeat of the Caribbean American community. Don't miss a moment of the action. Stay tuned to Caribbean American News Media Show for an immersive viewing experience like no other. Hashtag Caribbean American News, hashtag show, hashtag cultural celebration.
You are viewing Caribbean American News Media on YouTube and on Facebook. You can also find us on 360 Radio. Your host for tonight is Garfield Oliver. Let's get to work.
All right, let's get to work. Greetings, my friends. Greetings. Welcome to Caribbean American News Media Platform. I'll invite you to share the live and tag a friend. We're happy to be here with you. It is Tuesday, of course, and it is Caribbean American News Media broadcast. So again, welcome to all those of you who are just logging into the platform. I see Laurencia, I see my doodle Lisa, I see a number of you logging in on both our YouTube channel and our Facebook channel, and I strongly believe that we are live on GVD TV channel 115. That is Flow. There is no other place that you can be but here at Caribbean American News Media Platform. I want to shout out our friend over there in Dennery South, Mr. Sotter. Greetings to you, sir. Yes, man. Sakafet, Chebe Wed, Pamoli. Yes, Pile Pakase. But greetings, and it is good to be here with you. The truth is, I was not planning to be on tonight. So when I remember people like Laurencia and Lisa, I say, wow, I got to come on because I don't want to get in trouble with these wonderful people, but we're here tonight. I'm a bit tired, of course. I had a very long weekend, longer than expected, of course. And so I just want to greet you tonight and wish you all the best as you sit with us by your television, your device, your iPad, your cell phones, whatever device you are viewing us from. We welcome you, and we look forward to a beautiful sitting here with you. Greetings to the Caribbean and the rest of the world. Yes, my friends from the north, south, the east, and the west, thank you so much for joining us. We're going to get right into business. We are following some developments. That is a mother split for protection in St. Lucia. We also have Dennery South. We're going to look at Dennery South a bit. I want to have a little rant on Dennery South. We have Prime Shipping LLC that is here in New York, in Brooklyn, that has been affecting a lot of the shippers, especially the St. Lucia and Caribbean community. We are going to expose our investigations, some investigations that has been done. It is almost complete, so I am going to give you some advance report on the work that has been done in the investigations of Prime Shipping in Brooklyn, and I'm going to put out a strong warning to the St. Lucian community. Stay tuned to the broadcast. We also will be looking at the Bannons land issue again. There is some advice we want to give you from our news desk, and we hope that it will be of good use to you, the citizens of the country. And I want to take a jab at Prime Minister Pear. Later on in the night, I want to take a jab at him tonight. So stay tuned to the broadcast as we get. All right, so as you share the platform, we are saddened with the news of the passing of one Claudia Antwine, who passed away sometime, I believe, yesterday or today. Our condolences to the entire family, to her friends, and that is to the Antwine family. I believe they're from Labrie, Anga, whatever. You can't pronounce it, folks, but Auger, I believe it is. That is in Labrie. Our condolences to the family as you grieve the loss of your loved one. I say to you, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. Lay hold on every promise that has been given to you, that one day death and sin will be no more sickness. And so your loved one is not in any pain or any suffering at this time. So condolences to the family of Claudia Antwine. All right, so that was our condolences, greetings to the Antwine family. Our, again, sincere condolences on behalf of our platform to you, the family. I saw her many times on our live feed, and so condolences again to the bereaved family. We are saddened by your loss. Thank you so much for being here with us, Caribbean American News Media Platform. I want to go over to Dennery. I'm just going to show you something here that you, the people, would be. Dennery South. Now let's touch on Dennery South, and then we have a number of different developments that we want to look at in the country. Dennery South. Let's go over to Dennery South, Mr. Producer. Dennery South, and you're looking at in the center of Brad and also our friend there. My memory is not too good, but we have the senator and we also have Brad there, one on the right, one on the left. In the center you have the next representative for Dennery South. This is Caribbean American News prediction. Our prediction, early prediction, we are months in advance in this prediction, that the Dennery South seat will go to the United Workers' Party on the management of Ben from Dennery, Ben from Dennery, Ben for Den, Ben Emil from Dennery. So this is our first official prediction for the campaign, for the election 2025-2026, and that is Dennery South seat goes over to Benson Emil, a new upcoming politician, and we wish him all the best from the platform. This is our early prediction here on Caribbean American News Media platform. All right, so let me just say this. So yes, Dominic Fede was on one side, and we also had our friend from Dennery North, Brad, on the other side of him. So we're going to be doing prediction as we do our online polling. We have a number of different polling that we are doing, and so sometimes you would hear us make prediction. It is based on not scientific. We do not do scientific polling, of course, so our sample margin could be a little biased, but we are predicting based on our polling that Mr. Emil will pull it off there in Dennery South. It does not mean, friends, that you have to stay home and throw your hands in the air and say, well, he's already won. No, every vote count. Believe it or not, in this election, every vote count. Every one. No United Workers' Party supporters should stay home and decide that you're going to sit it out. All must be involved, even the disgruntled. You can come back and be disgruntled after you finish voting, but go out there. Do not stay home. Take your disgruntled self and come out and make a difference, because I am telling you, this is a fight for the soul of your country, for the soul of your village. And so Ben for Den got our support here on this platform, 101% support. All right, folks. I just want to say to Dennery South, I want to say something to you over there in Dennery South, the supporters. This is not a joke. This is not a game that we're involved in here in our discourse on this platform. We're here for serious business. I want to say to you folks in Dennery, you the people of Dennery South, there is no time for games, for pettiness. This election has been done. A candidate has been selected, given the bow from the United Workers' Party. Therefore, I encourage all people of Dennery South, which comprise of Lakai, Limere, and all those little villages around the area there, to put aside all your disappointments and stand with Ben. Every one of you in Dennery South know this man. You know he's not a voler. You know he's not a loudmouth. You know he's not one who curses women and abuses them all over the streets. All of us know who Ben is. I know who Ben is. I know his family. I know his mother. I've always had a good relationship with her. respectful one. This is a decent man. I encourage you to stand with him. Stand on his left, on his right, stand behind him, stand in front of him, and let him see that you are supporting him. No one should be on the sideline. All soldiers should be activated and get in on this great movement called Code Yellow. Ben for Den. Give him the opportunity, friends. The other thing I want to say is that Mr. Prosper is also a man of the soil in Dennery. All of us grew up with him. All of us grew up with Mr. Prosper, and all of us grew up with Ben. As a matter of fact, I went to school just a few steps away from Ben's house. That is the Seventh-day Adventist Church in the village. There was a school in the back there. I attended that school. The head teacher there was Bannons Charles. Her father was Mr. Charles, who had the joinery shop by the bridge. That little bridge there in Dennery. All of us know these two individuals. And I would ask us in Dennery South to do your best. Do your utmost best to protect these two gentlemen, both Ben and Prosper. Ben, I'm asking the Labour Party supporters in Dennery to respect this man. He did nothing to you but step forward to serve his community. That's the democracy. Mr. Prosper did the very same. He won in the last election. Mr. Prosper is not a dog. He is not an animal. He is a human being. As a matter of fact, he is sons and daughter of St. Lucia. So I say, let us take a different approach in Dennery South. These are our people. Let us stick with the issues that matters to us most. And let us forget about character assassination of these two individuals. So I call on Dennery South to shine the light, stand out, show that you are different. And I call on all St. Lucians to do the same, but particularly Dennery South. You got to continue to show respect to these two individuals, both Mr. Prosper and Ben. Let us challenge Mr. Prosper on his record, on what he did and what he did not do. But what we will not do is to drag his family, to drag him in the mud as though he's the worst scum of the earth. No, he is, my friends, a St. Lucian. But I would say that he failed the people of Dennery. He failed the farmers in St. Lucia. And that's why I am supporting Ben, and I'm saying, let us put Prosper on permanent retirement. He's a good man. And therefore, because he is good, we are going to give him a very early retirement from politics. So stand with your political candidate friends. Stand with Ben. And watch Ben transform your community, especially the lives of the young people in that community. Stand tall with him. Stand tall with him. Don't go arguing with no one. Don't give anyone no mapui. No. We will not do that in Dennery. I discourage it. All right? So that was our Ben Dennery South moment, and I look forward to meeting him again in person, having a conversation with him sometime this year. on my trip there to meet his campaign, and so I look forward to engaging his management, his crew, the Dennery South group. Look forward to just sitting with you guys and sharing any advice that I can, giving any assistance that I can to ensure that Ben is for Den. All right, so good. So we're going to move forward, friends. I love that little moment there. I love that little moment there, okay? So, let me just, there's a video that I want to play.
Another incoming candidate, ladies and gentlemen, the man who will replace the waste of time that exists here right now as your parliamentary representative and our Minister of Agriculture, the man himself, Dennery South, the next candidate for Dennery South, will be coming to address you right now. Round of applause.
All right, that is Ben. I had to stop it for copyright infringement purposes, but yes, that was on Sunday. I believe it was Sunday. There was an event there in Dennery, and I heard that from an inside source that everything went well, and it was Ben did very well in his in his presentation. All right, so let's go over quickly to, and we kind of move in with rapido speed tonight because I want to open the air so that the line so that you can send your condolences to Claudia's family, and also you can engage in whatever topic you want to engage in. All right. Before I do that, let's go to the Bannons Bay residents. I want to say to you, I want to speak to you, those fishermen and business people and residents there at Bannons Bay. I want to say to you, friends, that you should not move from where you are. Do not sign anything with anyone. I'm going to say it again, and I'm making these bold statements. Do not move from where you are presently. Don't move at this time. Do not sign anything. Do not accept any monies from anyone at this time. You guys need legal representation so that you can get exactly what is due to you. Because I strongly believe that there are some failures here on the part of the government when it comes to you, the people of Bannons Bay. I strongly believe it. One, you guys should have been relocated. You guys should have not been just, you guys were just offered money. You break down the thing, and then we'll give you 5, and then you move on. That should not be, friends. That should not be. Therefore, I'm encouraging you to seek legal representation. Esuko Bonza Mukadi, do not sign any document from anyone. You don't have to sign anything at this time. Stay put. Get legal representation. Get legal representation. Do not leave from where you are. Remain put. And I'm sorry for those of you who have already accepted the $10,000 or $5,000. So I'm sorry for you. You're done. That's it. There's nothing more for you. Goodbye. That's it. Adios, amigo. That's it. Finito. Once you accepted that money, that's it. Whole cow pardon. But for those of you who are still there, I would say to you, my advice to you is that you should remain put, and somebody, I am sure, will help you guys with legal representation. In matters like these, you need legal representation. These people will take advantage of you guys. They will not advise you to get legal advice. They will force the money in your hands, and they will force you to sign and tell you all the nicest of things. As a matter of fact, I'm not even sure, based on what the Prime Minister said, that you guys are going to come back there to sell anything. I don't think so. Was that in any deal? Those of you who signed and you're gone, I see some of you putting up stick structure. Are you going to live in sticks, in a stick house, or these trees that you cut down to make houses? Are you going to live in that in the heart of Castries? On people's property? No, you should not move. You should not move. Seek legal representation. I know St. Lucia do not have what we will consider to be legal aid, because all the lawyers just want their money they want, and that's it. And some of them don't want to talk because they don't want to ruffle feathers, and no lawyer want to go against the government, and so whole cause a pardon. So I'm calling on lawyers who love their country, lawyers who want to give back to their country, to come forward and assist these poor families. Come forward and assist them. Come on, guys. Some of you have benefited a lot from CIP, of course. You don't need anything. At this time, some of you don't need any contract. You don't need any job from government because you made enough on CIP. So here's a time to redeem yourself and to atone for your transgressions in CIP and provide some legal aid for these individuals. All right? So please, guys, just don't panic. Take your time there on Bannons Bay. Continue fishing. Go out and get your fish and sell your fish. But wait for legal advice. I heard the candidate for the United Workers' Party issuing a statement saying, like, look, he will do his best to give you guys some guidance. So wait for the guidance, and I will ask, I'm sure the party would have already been moving along in having a meeting with you, the residents of that community. So I am sure that the caretaker for that community, on behalf of the United Workers' Party, would be able to bring you guys together and guide you through this process. But don't allow anyone to take advantage of you. If Maji, what's her name, Maji, can get millions of dollars, new shop, and all kind of story, then I believe that you guys can get the same. They started it, and therefore they need to continue it. And that's a fact, because, I mean, they were complaining about private lands. Nobody was blocking the beach. Private land they were jumping up about. Ja Beach is mine, of course. Well, it looked like Ja is no more. I don't know what's going on. Where are all the little jacks that were singing on the beach in Grosley? Why are they not singing on behalf of these Bannons Bay residents? Where are they? Where are they? That's the question. And this, friends, is to expose the hypocrisy that exists in the nation. Black life matters only when a party is in power and one is in opposition. When the party gets in government, then black life don't matter anymore. Ja Beach is mine. It is no longer yours when the government in opposition gets into power. It's quite clear, Joseph Lizzie. It is clear because them fellas are in trouble at Bannons Bay. And Buddy and all the other jacks on the beach some 3 years ago or 4 years ago, where are they? They dispowered? You mean COVID write all of them off? Where are they? Where are they? There is one who is the Senate president. She was one of them singing, Jack don't want me to bathe on the beach. Nothing so. Where are they? Those from Dennery South who went up there. Where are they? Where he lay and all them fellas. Oh, no, sorry. These are the same gentlemen. These are the same men who are trying to get you guys off of Bannons Bay. So it does make sense to call them, of course. But justice must be for all and not some. And so I would consider what you guys were doing on the beach selective outrage. You got angry about nothing. Angry about nothing. Because you told the people who were on the beach that the government at the time gave away prime lands with humans, with ancient human skulls and artifacts at Cabot. You remember? You told them that the government took NIC money and give it to a foreign investor to run Maji off the beach and block all St. Lucians from the beach and invade all your lands. They lied to you, of course. They lied to you. The government did not give away your NIS money. NIS loaned the company the money. Did you know that? And not only that, folks, not only that, and this is just my rant, you know, not only that, but the land was not the government's land. The land was in receivership. It was owned by a bank. I believe it was repossessed. Well, why NIC couldn't buy the land? Well, NIC can buy all the lands, of course. An NIC board will decide what land they want and what land they don't want. It was in receivership for years. But no, you guys played on the COVID emotions of the people. The people were afraid of COVID and they thought Alan Shastner and his government was COVID. They had their target on the wrong enemy. Their enemy was COVID. And nobody wanted to restrict them from going on any beach. The whole world was protecting its citizens by restricting movements. It wasn't new. It wasn't something only happening in the country, in St. Lucia. It was happening in all other countries in the world. Social distancing. Yeah? But no, you, the Labour Party, was able to successfully bamboozle the Seville of some people who were afraid of an enemy but did not understand who the enemy was. Not realizing that they were standing with the enemy. Because you guys knew that there was a problem in the country and it was a matter of life and death. But you told them, well, Shastner has his foot on our necks and we need to breathe, we need Netflix, we need to go out and party and drink rum. Your ungodliness caused many of you lives. And your ungodliness have many of you confused even now because you're saying, but I didn't know it was private land. Well, how can you know? When your brain was in your pocket and in your belly. All you thought about was chicken and rum on the beach, of course. I saw you guys drinking out. I think you guys bought out the whole shop. And so you bought out your own brain. And you were on a beach with no barricades. Nobody was blocking you, but you were on the same beach. But you were singing that Jack don't want you to bathe on the beach. But you were on the beach. Got you. You know what that is called? Strong delusion. That you will see the truth, but you will believe the lie because you have shunned truth for so long that you believe a lie. Strong delusion took over the people. And the people were on the beach shouting, "Jah beach is mine," standing on the sands of the sea. But yet, Jack didn't want them to be on the beach. I got you. So now, the Bannons Bay residents need you, all the little Jacks. What, you become Sprat now? Where are you? Hello, where are you hiding, little Jacks? The people at Bannons need you guys. I got you. Don't get upset with me. I'm just telling the story. I am telling the story. You guys wrote the story. You wrote the script. And you're getting mad because I am reading your old script. More delusion. More delusion is taking over the land, of course. You guys wrote it. And when we repeat it, then you get mad with us for repeating what you wrote. You wrote the stanzas and the verses. And if some of us was not in our right mind, we would have joined the Clong show. Because that's what it was. But I'm saying, friends, there is no COVID-19. There is no imminent danger hanging over your heads. Now you can go at Bannons Bay and march against Jack. Here's the opportunity, lawyers, to stand, Miss President of the Senate, Miss Reynolds. It's you. I mean, there is no. You can color your hair red, pink, yellow. Go out, go, and they need you, Miss Reynolds. They need you down there, of course. Hello. So, we got you on this one. All the little Jacks. Reach out to the Bannons Bay people, but I am asking also the United Workers' Party to meet with the community, call community meetings. Community meetings should have already been planned. Well, I don't know, maybe you have them planned, but get out there with the community. Get lawyers. If we have to pay them next year, if we have to pay them 40 years from now, all I'm saying, friends, come, please. Come on board, go to the community meeting and advise. All them Christian lawyers, all those young lawyers just got out of school. Never had one case in your life. Here's the opportunity to get some cases. Hello. Go practice down there at Bannons Bay. Go try your hand. Well, I'm sure if it was the other party in power, you guys would have been tonight red and ready. I wish. Transportation would have been arranged from last week. And you would have been calling the investor GPH a leech. I got you, of course. Yes, you would have rallied your forces, and Buddy would have been on his bully pulpit. Shashne. And these people come in our country. I want to move our residents who have been there for 30 years. We will not have it. He is not one of us, and he's given away our lands. I can hear the story ringing in my ear. Oh, yes, I can hear you guys. If you were in opposition now, you guys would have shut down the entire Bannons Road. From Lattock, come right down, Millennium Highway blocked. Strasbourg would not even be able to do business for a week. Yes. Oh, yes, my friends. That's your truth, not mine. It's your truth. You guys would have shut down the whole country. You would have called GPH the worst deal in the history of St. Lucia. You would have labeled that deal of Mr. Shasta and the United Workers' Party. You guys would have done a piece of work. Just like you did with Cabot, you would have done the same over there on Bannons Bay. Hello. So what is going to be? Let's get lawyers over there, friends. Let's get lawyers over there. Let's advise them. Let's guide these people. Let us shield them from the hands of the oppressors. And where is the Black Lives Matter movement? To kneel at Bannons Bay in the hot sun with all their arthritis, to go and kneel down, take your foot off our necks. Black life matters. Them Bannons Bay life no matter now. Give me a break, folks. You know what? You guys have done wrong to the nation, of course. And all we're hearing, on a SLP platform is, we have shops and we're going to improve the lives of the Bannons Bay people. But that's not what you're telling them. You're telling them to leave. Here's $500. Here's $1,000. $10,000. Leave. Take off your stuff. Break down everything and go. But you're not telling them to go where they're going. And if I was this resident, I would move right in the boulevard. I would move my boat, everything in the boulevard, because you guys are not making any sense at this point, of course. You just want us to move and go anywhere. Go anywhere. And if you think that it is the nice Christian song which says, anywhere with Jesus, I can safely go. No, I tell you, anywhere with the Labour Party, tol call barbon. With Jesus, you stand a chance. But with the Labour Party, take your galvanize, your plywood, your boat engine, and your boat, and go anywhere you can. Go anywhere in St. Lucia. Go. Just go, vamos. Because we are going to get this land by any means necessary. Anyway, I'm going to move on, of course. I am going to move on. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back.
They stream the tears and the cheers so clear. From the church to the pitch, they're always near. Tie the knot or score the goal, my friend. GVD TV's got you till the end. They stream the highs, they stream the lows, from wedding vows to final shows, through life's twists and the path it bends. GVD's there, it never ends.
All right, and we are back, friends. Now, I came across, before we go to the prime shipping situation, I think I have something on the Prime Minister.
They're happy. They're happy because you may not be happy. Soon they won't have no food. They are important strike. They're happy. They're happy because you may not get food in the supermarket because the people want to go on strike. They're happy. Why are the ports full? The ports are full because St. Lucia is growing faster than anticipated. There were 500 cars on the port. Where the cars going? Who buying the cars? With what they buying it? So if they have no money, who will buy the cars?
Now, I'm sorry that I'm laughing at you, St. Lucia, now we so. But the Prime Minister is saying to you guys that nothing is wrong with you. You guys have money, you're buying cars. There are 500 cars sitting on the wharf. Friends, by the time I know myself, there's always cars on the wharf, a lot of them. I remember when the Skettles first came out, the Camry, Toyota Camry, and they started importing used vehicles in the country. A lot of used dealers start popping up, man. There was cars all over the place, man. Everybody started. I remember that time when people were just buying used cars like crazy. But Prime Minister is saying that the cars on the port is an indication that you guys have money. So I would agree with the Prime Minister. I would listen to the Prime Minister. He's the Prime Minister. The man said you guys have money. You're buying cars, and that's why they're having problems at the port, because there's a lot of stuff coming in. St. Lucians are doing well. So if St. Lucians are doing well, I mean, Prime Minister, why are you taking away 12% off of food items at this time? You did not do it when the people really needed it, when they were under pressure, they were breaking, coming out of COVID. You added a 2.5% on their backs. You kept the gas price up. Is it because, Mr. Prime Minister, you truly believe that nothing is wrong with the people? That the people are happy? And that the people have money? And just check the ports. The ports is jammed. That's the problem we have over there. It's because we're doing well. That's why the port is messed up. That's why barrels are stranded on the port and their goods are spoiling on the port. That's why the truckers are striking, because things are so good that the truckers are striking. That's how good things are in the country. Oh, I'm sorry. Things are good. And I'm going to play it again. And this was done in Grosley. Yeah? Let's play it again, folks. Play it again, Mr. Producer. Play it again.
Food, no food. They are on strike. They're happy. They're happy because you may not get food in the supermarket because the people want to go on strike.
Okay, good. So, Mr. Prime Minister, by the way, who is the people who want to go on strike? You're talking about the truck drivers? And by the way, who are the people that are happy that people will not get food in St. Lucia? Let me just make this correction to you, Mr. Prime Minister, while I'm here. No human being in St. Lucia is happy because there's going to be a shortage of food. You know why I'm telling you that? Because you have always have shortage of food, Mr. Prime Minister. No sugar, no rice, no water, no roads, no medication. You guys are full of shortage as far as I'm concerned. So why would you all of a sudden just wake up and start saying that they will be happy? Who is the they? Who are you talking about? Those who are on the beach, the jacks? Who are you speaking about? You can't be speaking about the United Democrats Party, of course. Because I'm sure many St. Lucians would have gotten accustomed of not having food. Ain't nothing new. And not because the truck drivers are striking and, they're protesting that you're going to say there's going to be a shortage because of that. As I said, you have always been a government of shortage. Even toilets, enamel toilets, hard toilets for jail cells, you guys normally have shortage of them. They break on the way. And when you send them back, they come back break. Or broke, rather. Shortage. Yeah. Well, I don't know. So, well, you're the Prime Minister. You say it, and I have to believe you that somebody's happy. I don't know who it is, but what can I say, sir?
They're happy. Why are the pots full? The pots are full because St. Lucia is growing faster than anticipated. There were 500 cars on the pot. Where the cars going? Who buying the cars? With what they buying it? So if they have no money.
Okay, Mr. Prime Minister, let me just say to you that the 500 cars on the port does not reflect the plight of poor families in rural communities who are living hand to mouth. As a matter of fact, if you do your survey in the country, Mr. Prime Minister, you'll discover that there's extreme poverty in some communities. Some families have one meal, some are struggling, some cannot afford a nutritious, balanced meal, and so they eat a lot of starch. Then I'm sure if you look at your medical records, you'd realize that there is an increase of diabetes and high blood pressure and cancer in your country. So the 500 cars, Mr. Prime Minister, could be a reflection of a whole set of CIP residents in your country. It could be that some of your government ministers are buying more cars than usual. And there's elves, of course. It could mean, Mr. Prime Minister, that the money that is circulating is coming from the government. Well, let me just say, I'm just saying, could it be? That's where the money's coming from, sir. So if you think that the 500 cars are poor families who are catching hell to survive, if you think that they're the ones who are buying cars, then, Mr. Prime Minister, you need to be voted out. And some of the people who are listening to you right there who are clapping, I am sure some of them just took a $5 loan or $100 loan from the boss because they just can't make it. They can't wait for the fortnight. So if you think, sir, that 500 cars and a bad port system is a reflection of people not suffering, then I believe that your days are numbered in politics. Your days are numbered because the stories are out there. From Dennery to Grosile, Soufrière, Ancillary, Canaries, people are doing fundraisers for medical services. People are doing fundraisers in the country for cancer treatment. People are dying while they're having GoFundMes and barbecues for major health crisis in their family. Families are burying their loved ones on loans Families are taking loans to eat. Families are taking loans to go to work. Do you understand families are taking loan to go to work? Boss man, give me $10 to get to work. You don't know they do that? You don't know they go to the credit union to take a $500 to just see them through? So that they can get by? Do you not know that? Do you not know that people are taking loans to eat? People are going to the stores and they're saying, give me that, I'll pay you next week. Don't you know that people are driving, are going to Castries, whether it's from Dennery or from Soufre, they're going to Castries on credit? That they're asking the bus drivers to, give me a ride, I'll pay you. Do you understand that people are standing by the road hoping that somebody will know them and pick them up, give them a ride? And do you know that there are a whole lot of people who go to Castries by faith and not by sight because they don't know how they're going to get back, Mr. Prime Minister? Do you understand what you're saying? And do you understand do you not hear the people, sir? Do you not hear them? Are you not hearing them? Are you tone deaf?
Cars on the port. Where the cars going? Who buying the cars? With what they buying it? So if they have no money, who'll buy the cars?
So just it, let's see whole cause up our bosses, how money police are.
And usher him out. Take his microphone and usher him out. Take his microphone and usher him out.
Now, you'll have to usher him out when he calls the election, because if that's how the Prime Minister is reasoning, and now because of pressure, he's saying, well, we took off 12% from most of the food items now. The cry was there from the beginning. The people were crying. They were in pain at the restaurant, at the supermarkets. They were begging for years. You said there's nothing we can do. It's the world, the world, the cause of the world is not us. We're doing everything. We're giving you flour. We're subsidizing flour. We're doing all what we can. But all of a sudden, you know that you're going to make an announcement for the elections. And you're trying to bamboozle the minds of the people. You're trying to tell them that they're not feeling anything. That's what you were doing there, you know. You're telling the people who are suffering that they're not suffering. In other words, you're telling them they're okay. They're not hungry. They have money. Everything is fine. That's what you're telling them. And then you want to play in their minds with a 12% reduction. And you're saying you don't know, but it's supposed to. You're using the very same words that you use with the 2.5%. It's not supposed to affect food items. That's what you told the people. Did you not know it was a compounded tax that you were dealing with? And you were asked to hold off? The professionals told you. The Chamber of Commerce told you to back this thing up a bit, man. Hold this thing. This thing is a mess for us. Hold it. You said to the people it should not affect food. You know what the people saw? Kentucky complaining and increasing their price. Supermarket price. Digicel price gone up. Price start hitting all over the place, price going up. That's what you call a compounded tax, sir. So one, you're laughing at the citizens by saying to them, you have 500 cars in the port and nothing is wrong, they have money. That's what you just told Solutions. They have money. You just told them that. But again, could it be that it is the 500 Chinese that brought in 500 cars. Sorry, folks, I'm just having a little fun here on this one. But could it be that it is the 500 Chinese that you brought, or the Indians that you brought in, that brought in 500 cars? I'm just saying, Reverend, I am subject to correction. I'm only human, of course. I'm only human. I'm just a man. So, Mr. Prime Minister, I don't know who's advising you, but don't say what you just said again. All right, sir? Whatever you do, don't tell the St. Lucian people that they're not suffering. And they have 500 cars on the port, causing the truckers to strike. And then there are those who are rejoicing that there will be a food shortage. I've never heard such nonsense in my existence on this side of life. Never heard it. And I've never really heard Prime Minister say all what the Prime Minister of St. Lucia just said there, you know. I know Prime Minister say a lot of foolishness around the region. I know that from St. Vincent to Grenada to Guyana, Trinidad. I know a lot of stuff. You know, Riley used to say a lot of things in Trinidad too. A lot of stuff. Until crap was smoky pipe. Ralph Gonsalve, Crapo is about to smoke his pipe too. I don't know what's going to smoke my partner pipe in St. Lucia. Well, I know. United West Party will smoke that pipe. Because Code Yellow is loading around the region. There's a movement around the region, a Code Yellow movement. And them fellas are underestimating it. All right? So let's go to a report here that we're doing good on time, of course. I came across a report from Miriam Matut of the DBS News World, who reported on a mother who is pleading for protection and who is saying to the people that the system is failing her. The system is failing her. After that, we'll go right into the prime shipping investigations that we have almost completed. All right? So let's go over to this report from Miriam Matut of the DBS News World.
Asking for help after she claims that her daughter and her daughter's boyfriend made threats against her life. Saintville says her daughter came out of prison last October and her boyfriend was released from prison prior to that. The mother says that her daughter requested that her boyfriend live at her residence, which she first allowed. However, she says the situation quickly escalated after both began making threats against her life, including an alleged threat by her boyfriend to poison her. It was at that point, she says, that she decided to take the matter to family court to request that her daughter leave the house. However, the magistrate issued a 6-month protection order instead. Having suffered 3 heart attacks, Saintville says she no longer knows who to turn to as she struggles to cope with the situation.
Because after she had stabbed the fella at Marshall, I told her I cannot come to Marshall. I want her to come and build a little apartment underneath the house to stay. That was agreed. We helped her. And she came and stayed there. She spent 9 years on remand. Not on remand, on bail, on bail. 9 years on bail until she was sentenced, and she spent 7 years and about 8 months or plus in prison. And from the time she is out, my life is miserable. I'm nothing to her now. I'm not her mother. She changed her name. She showed me she changed her name. The magistrate don't do nothing about that. I tell her I have her daughter. She give me that daughter from 3 months old. She stand up right there by that tree there and tell me, look the child. She don't want it. If I don't want it, push it in my backside. At 3 months of age. And up to her day, I have that my granddaughter with me.
The mother says that her daughter is trying to claim the property. However, she says that she bought the house from her sister in 1995 and showed Newsworld a letter she claims was issued by a justice of the peace. The mother says she had a good relationship with her daughter while she was in prison, even presenting receipts of all the things she had gotten for her daughter to make her stay more comfortable.
I did not have a lawyer. So right now I don't know if I have to proceed the matter on my own or whatever, because the family court did not help me out, and I getting fed up to last night. She still threatened me this morning. A little cat passed by her and she said, oh, it's not you I want to stab, it's the owner of the cat.
Newsworld approached the daughter for comment. However, she declined. The mother, who resides at Lage Babano, says the authorities have failed her and is looking for guidance as she says she feels unsafe. For the DBS Newsworld, Miriam Montoot reporting.
All right, folks, there's a whole set of stuff wrong with this story, and I'm sure we will want to spend a little time on it. We are doing very good with time tonight, but let's have a conversation here. Let me ask you, the different institutions in the country that are there to protect the citizens. What in the world is going on in your country, St. Lucia? You guys always wait until somebody dies, lose their life, to come on the media and with your sorrow and your sympathy and all your sweet talk. You guys always wait until it's too late. The young lady who got killed in Grosley, she was heading home from work. She had a court case the following day. It was too late for her, no protection. Here is a mother in a very dangerous situation, and there is absolutely no protection for this woman. This woman is scared. She's living in fear. And the system is failing her again. And God forbid that this mother loses her life. Who's going to stand up for the people? Poor families like these, with all these domestic issues that takes forever to be dealt with. Sometimes it ends up, as I said, in death. The woman's daughter is living downstairs and she's upstairs and she's still living in fear, with all the threats against the woman's life. No intervention. Just like the Bannons land people, of course. No legal representation. Just sign a piece of paper. There is a mother crying for help. A mother that has to turn to the media to get that story out there. Her own daughter is threatening her. And there is no system in the country that can bring some type of protection and relief to this woman. There must be something that can be done for her. There must be something, friends. If anyone is hearing me and they can help, a legal mind, someone who can advise her, I suggest that you reach out to her and see what can be done. But something needs to be done urgently for this mother. Something needs to be done urgently to protect this woman from this situation. Ma'am, I'm very sorry that the system have failed you. I'm sorry that the system has failed you. And the system has failed many others. I'm sorry, ma'am. I will look forward to a day when the legal system will work for all. When all people, whether you're rich or you're poor, can get legal representation, can get protection under the law. Especially these domestic situations. There are one too many of our families that we are losing because of this situation. Imagine her living in fear, sleeping in fear, eating in fear. And you heard the lady said that she was threatened that she would be poisoned. So she's eating in fear. And there is no system in the country that can step in urgently and even either remove the aggressor, the one who is threatening, or provide some form of safety for this mother. Not even the bodily system. Not even the police. Not even the family court. Nothing. No agency can step in and ease this woman's fear. But what can I say? I saw a comment that came across my vision on the site on Facebook. I'm going to read it. It says, and this person is Robert Jean-Baptiste. Robert Jean-Baptiste. He writes, boy, you saying what you want and come to St. Lucia and say that. Now, this is a threat, of course. And this is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about in the country. Nobody can talk. Nobody can question the government or systems that are there to protect. Nobody can. No. Don't you challenge those systems, or don't come to. You can't say that down here. We'll kill you. We'll injure you. So people like Robert Jean-Baptiste seems to be a menace to the society. And this is the attitude that we're hoping we can stamp out in our generation. These attitudes, disrespect, no respect at all, no manners, no discipline, no self-control. And they walk around roaming everywhere because there is no system, no checks and balances in place to keep these monsters at bay. And it appears that we have an uncivilized society of wickedness and evil in our society. It's a shame. And every time you look at their profile, it's always a red. I don't know why. There is always a shade of red. So tonight, we rebuke this individual. We call you out. And we hope that you change that mentality. That you change before you run into your own brick wall. Because there's always a brick wall for people like you who walk around with a bullying mentality. It's a shame. And anytime we see it, we must rebuke it. We must stand up against it, and we must stamp it out of our society. We must stamp it out. We must stamp it out. We must stamp it out with everything that we have. And we must never settle for this type of rhetoric in the society. So, whoever you are, I do not wish you all the best. I wish you conversion and repentance. That's all. So I done with you. I ain't wasting another brain cell on you, sir. Okay, so I'm going to bring to you our investigations. We did got a number of complaints from individuals who did business with Prime Shipping. Just bear with me here. Let me pull up this information here. Now, Prime Shipping is located, and it is Prime Shipping LLC, and it's located at 1316 Flatbush Avenue, Brooklyn, New York. Now, you would ask me what this has to do with St. Lucians. Well, it has a lot to do with St. Lucians. A lot of St. Lucians ship barrels and supplies to St. Lucia. Most of the calls that I have received and complaints that I have received from individuals who don't know each other, from individuals who do not even know each other. I got one call. I shipped my items with Prime Shipping, and I have not received my stuff. They're hanging up the phone on me. They're insulting me. I can't get my supplies at the wharf in St. Lucia. You have Grenadians who are complaining, Dominicans who are complaining, and Trinidadians who are complaining of Prime Shipping. Now, I'm going to show you some correspondence that we got our hands on concerning Prime Shipping. So if any one of you have done business with Prime Shipping and you have not received your barrels, and the government of St. Lucia, they're penalizing you by putting a lien on your stuff and charging you for storage, it is illegal and it is wrong. I'm going to say it again. And I know there are a whole lot of experts out there who believe that they know more than me. Of course, you're entitled to your knowing all. But I'm saying it's not right. It is not fair because of crooked shipping companies. Individuals are being penalized at Port Castries by the government of St. Lucia. By the government of St. Lucia. They've been penalized just for shipping with a company. And we're going to talk about this. So if you have shipping problems, you have problems getting your barrels and your supplies, we're going to deal with that once and for all. So I'm going to show you a presentation, part of our investigation here. All right, so we're going to do what we call a slideshow with our investigations. All right, I believe it's on the screen now. And so let's go. All right, so here is the news report. So here is a communication from a victim, I would say, of Prime Shipping LLC, which is a limited liability company in New York. That's in Brooklyn. I believe it is owned by a Grenadian. And so I read, I am writing to inquire about a shipment I arranged through a company called Prime Shipping Services, LLC, based in Brooklyn, New York. I paid for a barrel to be shipped to St. Lucia on April 24th, 2025, and was told it would arrive by May 13th, 2025. To date, I have not received any tracking number, bill of landing, or proper shipping documentation. I have contacted the owner several times via phone and text, but have not received consistent responses. As a result, I am seeking your assistance with the following. 1. Can you confirm whether Prime Shipping Services LLC is currently licensed to operate as a shipping broker? Can you provide any information about the location or shipping status of my barrel? Now, this is a letter that is assigned, was sent off to, I believe, the Federal Maritime Commission that is in Washington. All right, so let's continue with the presentation. If there's anyone who have issues with shipping, please let me know so that we can put you on the list. The business name is Prime Shipping Services, LLC, NYS.ID 4731242. Registered address is 1316 Flatbush Avenue, Brooklyn, New York. Dear Sir, Madam, I am a citizen, and this is a letter that was sent out to, I believe, the government agency here in the United States. So let's read it and you'll get the gist of it. I am a United States citizen currently residing in St. Lucia. I am writing to file a formal complaint concerning the unlawful lien, and this is a letter to the government of St. Lucia. This is part of the investigations that is ongoing with the Prime Shipping and the issues of barrels and shipments in St. Lucia being delayed or individuals not getting their shipment, all right, their supplies. I am a United States citizen currently residing in St. Lucia. I am writing to file a formal complaint concerning the unlawful lien placed on my personal property and the resulting damage to my goods due to improper handling and storage. My first barrel arrived in St. Lucia on May 13th, 2025. I paid Prime Shipping LLC in full in New York to handle the shipping. I have no contractual agreement or relationship with Carib Trans. Yet they placed a lien on my barrel because Prime Shipping did not pay them. This financial issue is between Prime Shipping and Carib Trans and should not involve me or other paying customers. Despite being the name consignee on the manifest, Customs would not release my barrel until Carib Trans was paid, and I was forced to pay storage fees. When I finally received the barrel, I discovered that a bottle of soap had burst inside because the barrel was left in extreme heat in a non-climate controlled facility for an extended period. The soap smell contaminated my food, including rice and dry goods, making them unusable. The interior of the barrel was extremely hot and several items melted. I now have a second barrel currently being held at the dock in Viewport under the same lien conditions, but with a different shipping agent. It remains on release, and I have no direct agreement with the agent holding it. Prime Shipping LLC is not registered or licensed with the U.S. Federal Maritime Commission and is therefore not legally authorized to operate as a shipping company. I am in contact with 3 other affected customers, and from what I understand, there are over 300 customers who have had their barrels held since December 2024 under similar illegal lien conditions. Those customers like me paid Prime Shipping in full, but their goods are now at risk of being auctioned off simply because of the company did not pay the shipping carriers. It appears St. Lucia Custom has allowed shipping companies to place liens on barrels that do not belong to them. Customs is blocking the release of items and forcing customers to pay storage fees for shipments that were fully paid in advance. This practice is not just unethical, it is unlawful. The Consumer Protection Act of St. Lucia prohibits misleading or deceptive conduct under Section 115, unfair or deceitful practices under Section 117, the unfair or unjust transactions under Section 120, holding and charging customers for goods they have already paid for based on the debt of a third party, clearly violates those provisions. Additionally, the Customs Control and Management Act does not authorize liens against goods belonging to someone other than the actual debtor. Company again, Prime. And there you have owner George Royer in Scott Bernard. I have reported this matter to the U.S. Federal Maritime Commission and the New York Department of State Division of Consumer Protection. I also plan to raise this issue with the World Trade Organization as the last resort if necessary. I expect a timely response from your department regarding this matter. I request an official explanation of the process, the legal basis for these actions, and a clear commitment to resolve and prevent this in the future. Your ability to communicate. Okay, so just bear with me, folks. Let me bring back the screen to me. Now, this is an investigation that is ongoing here at Caribbean American News Media Platform. This is what we encourage. This is what we do. This is what we do in our spare time. And so a complaint was filed with the Federal Maritime Commission. Now, you'd have heard us reading some of the Custom Act in St. Lucia, which prevent customs from putting a lien on people's personal property who does not owe them. If SLASPA, if customs has an issue with a shipping company, then they deal with the shipping company and not the customers who paid in full for the release of their shipments. And a lot of solutions, of course, have been charged for storage. Illegal liens have been placed on people's barrels, their shipments. And because the people don't understand the laws, understand their rights in the country, then they're being taken for granted. They're being taken advantage of by the government. And I'm calling on anyone again who were affected by Prime Shipping and the government of St. Lucia to come forward. Come forward. Talk to us. Our emails are on the platform. Our telephone numbers are on the platform. Reach out to us, because there are a lot of St. Lucians who have lost their supplies. And they have paid thousands of dollars, my friends, for their goods. And not only their goods, for their goods and services. Because Prime Shipping, and I reached out to Prime Shipping and I spoke to the reception, and she said, well, I can't give information. And I told her what my plan was. I told her what I was doing. And she said, well, the manager is going to reach out to me. Up to this day, and I saw somebody was trying to reach out to me just moments ago on the screen. It's too late. It is too late. It's too late. You are operating illegally, one. You are dodging the customers. You are taking their monies. You are not paying the receiving agents on the company. The receiving agents in St. Lucia, they are putting liens on these containers. Who suffers? The customers. Not the shipping company. The customers. There's my friend who had his container sitting on the port for months. Over 6 months. And when he got that bill, friends, they had to threaten this same company up here in the United States. They had to threaten this company in the United States. This is garbage. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask you, friends, to be very careful with the companies that you're shipping with. The containers are not being paid. And what we will do for you is we will give you a list of companies that you should ship with. And sometimes it does not have to be a company from your home country, because we see what is happening. We see what is happening. And it's a shame. And look, we have someone say that they're still waiting for their barrel also. Looters. And here's another one, JN, who is having an issue too. A lot of people are having shipping issues. Not because there is some logistic issue on the waters. Panama Canal is blocked. It is because of these mobby shop companies who are doing crookedness. It is wrong. It is just wrong. So I am officially giving you a heads up that Louis says, okay, let's take this call. Caller, you're on the air. Folks, we have a professional. I'm going to shut my mouth and listen to the professional. Professional, how are you, sir?
Good evening, Pastor Garfield. How are you doing?
Listen to me. I am doing fine, and it's my desire to get you on this show very soon.
Yes, Pastor Garfield. I am following your show tonight, and I understood that you're discussing an issue with a shipping agent and some customers who had shipped some barrels into St. Lucia.
Yeah, and by the way, hold a minute. Now, folks, this is Mr. Peter Chico. He's former custom. What's your former position?
Custom controller.
Former custom controller. He's the one who were having the issue with Mr. Hilaire and the Land Rover situation. And by the way, he was unfairly treated by the government of this country. Go ahead, sir.
So, yes, Mr. Garfield, Pastor Garfield, I listened to while you were reading the letter, I am not here to speak on behalf of the Customs Department because I'm a retired person.
Yeah.
I suppose the officials from the Customs Department will speak on it on their own. But what I could tell the important public is these situations normally do happen from time to time. And I'm just going to explain what the process is.
Talk to me.
So for any importation, customs responsibility will be to examine, assess, collect due taxes, and release cargo. So whatever cargo comes into St. Lucia, whoever that imports that cargo would have to first get the documents from the shipping agent. So if the shipping agent issues you with the document and you take it into customs responsibility is to do an examination, do an assessment, collect the taxes, and release the cargo. So that is what customs will do. So whether or not you have issue with the agent or with the slapper, as long as you come with your documents for your cargo, customs is going to do the inspection, collect the taxes, and release the cargo. Remember, customs will collect the taxes.
Yes.
Customs will collect the taxes, and customs will give you a release order in order for you to clear your cargo. However, when that release order is given to you, SLASPER is the custodian of the cargo. So SLASPER is responsible for storage and doing the actual delivery, while customs is responsible for the release of cargo. SLASPER cannot release cargo. Customs release cargo after all the assessments and all the taxes are paid. And then the SLASPER basically what is an authorization informing them that the cargo has been duly assessed and taxed and it can be released. So SLASPER now has that release, and they will be the ones to deliver the cargo to the importers. SLASPER have their relationship with the shipper. So if the shipper has not paid SLASPER, or in fact the shipper would also have to give what you call a release that SLASPER uses prior to them releasing the cargo. So in 100% of the time, a lot of importers say customs does this and customs holding back my cargo. It has absolutely nothing to do with customs. The only time customs will hold your cargo is if you come in for shipment where customs have an issue with the shipment, whether it be for contraband, whether it be probably because you may describe the goods, probably because it is a prohibited item, and we would hold it back on as an agency function for the other ministries responsible for permits and licenses. Other than that, as long as you come in with your customs document, the customs department will do the inspection, will do the assessment, and will collect the taxes due on these items, and it will give you a release order that you could take to SLASPER for the release of your goods. The Customs Act, I see the person, the letter indicated something relating to the Customs Act. The Customs Department will only hold your goods if the Customs have an issue with any law relating to the importation of your goods. As long as you pay your taxes, you pay your shipping, and you bring your goods in, Customs will assess it, and Customs will authorize the release.
So what is going wrong here? In this situation, what is happening here?
Well, in that situation, that is a matter that we have to deal with SLASPER and the shipping agent.
SLASPER,
so
okay.
From experience, what we know is, what I could say is, if the shipping agent, the local shipping agent, has not paid the shipper, so we have a shipper from the United States, and you have a local agent in St. Lucia operating on behalf of that shipper. So if that local agent has not paid the dues to the shipper in the United States, the shipper will not authorize the release of the cargo. So that's one issue. Second, if you have not paid your fees or your charges to the local agent will not give you a release in order for you to go to SLASPA.
So wait, so who is responsible for paying the local agent? That is the shipping company in the foreign country.
So sometimes the way it works, the shipping company, the local agent is responsible for paying the shipper in the United States. So when they pay the shipper, or if the importer, let's for example in that particular case, if that particular importer has not paid the charges to the shipper in the United States, the shipper, the local agent here, will not give that shipper, that importer, a release to collect the goods in St. Lucia. But in all what that is going on, the Customs Department have absolutely nothing to do with that. They're not responsible for holding on to this cargo. That is an issue between the shipper, the local agent, and SLASPA.
Wow, so you just...
Bottom line.
Yep, you just clarified
Customs will not...
So Customs job is to assess and release. They go by the law. They collect the revenues. They do the inspection to ensure that everything is according to...
In order.
In order. And so they issue the release.
Yes, what we do, we give a cargo release.
Yeah.
Informing SLASPA, and I keep saying we. You see, once a customs officer...
I hear you. I respect that.
So a release order would be given in order to inform SLASPA that we have done our due diligence, we have collected our taxes, and as a result, this cargo can be released.
Right.
So once you come in with your documents, so once you go to the agent and the agent hands you a document, because you cannot come to customs without a document. So you must have your documents in hand. These documents will be taken by the Customs Department, your cargo identified, brought for inspection. Customs will do the inspection, do the assessment, collect the taxes, and give you that release. That release you take up to SLASPA, and SLASPA will actually release the cargo to you. As to what SLASPA's process is and what they go through, what arrangements they have with the shipping agent, that is something that SLASPA needs to explain to that importer. But to include the Customs Department in the delaying this cargo, the Customs does not have anything to do with it. Because as long as the documents are presented to Customs will do their due diligence in terms of examination, assessment, and revenue collection. And once everything is in order, the cargo will be released. So to get it off the shed, that is the responsibility of the St. Lucia A&T Port Authority, not the Customs Department.
Right.
I just wanted to say that because I was listening to that.
And I appreciate that.
I was listening to your show, and I just thought I should have just mentioned that. Not in defense of Customs, but just to explain that to the importer.
No, it's okay. It's important to us with what we're doing here. So, so the problem now, and I believe this is a major problem because we have a number of customers who are complaining on a regular basis concerning companies here in New York and in Miami who takes their money, their shipment, and they are just left lost. You know, they can't get their supplies. And then there is a lien that is placed on their goods. They're being charged storage. I mean,
again, I don't want to speak for SLASPA, but it's just like you have goods stored in my warehouse. And until you take out your goods, if you have a few days grace, until you take out your goods from my warehouse, I will be charging you the fees for it. So as to what arrangements SLASPA have with the shipping agent, That's something for SLASPA to deal with. So you mentioned earlier, quite a few persons have had these complaints, particularly at Christmas time. What the customs department normally does during Christmas time, because this Christmas virus thing has become a big thing. It has been going on for the past, say, 13, 14 years or so. And what the customs department does every year when Christmas is approaching, the customs department prepares for Christmas barrels, because we know there is always an influx in importation of barrels. So the customs department would basically bring in more officers at the port, both Cascades and Beaufort. So we would actually deploy more officers at the port to ensure that no matter what amount of persons who show up at the port, customs have sufficient staff to deal with them. The issue with that, well, for customs, we always staff. And I could tell you, I keep saying we. I am a customs officer. So for the department, every Christmas barrel session, while on a regular day at the shed, you will have a complement of say 8, 10 officers at the shed. On Christmas time, we deploy officers. We deploy at least 20 to 30 customs officers. And as anything else, they always have extended hours. So we are able to accommodate the extended hours on holidays and whatnot. So that is always been prepared for by customs. Last on the other hand, sometimes it will be a different story, and they will have to explain how they do that. Because while we're sending in an extra 20 officers to assist at the shed, sometimes we see SLASPA staff still remain the same, or they may just increase the staff by probably 1 or 2, 3 persons. Now, if you have 30 customs officers doing examinations, collecting taxes, and sending persons for cargo, and SLASPA cannot deal with the capacity, that creates a bottleneck. But at the end of the day, everybody says it's customs, because customs operates on the docks as well. But 95% of the time, the bottleneck, the delays, well, I would say probably 90%, not 90% of the time, because sometimes we do have issues. Probably our system goes down and whatnot. So we do have some issues. Customs do have issues as well. But in the majority of cases, the issue comes between SLASPA and the agent. Another delay you may find, sometimes in the preparation of the document, the agents make errors on the document. So we operate with a computer system. So if you put Garfield Oliver on a document and you hand it to a customer, and when the customer gets into the shed and they look, they cannot find Garfield Oliver, but they will get Garfield Jones. Obviously, we cannot issue, or rather, SLASPA will not issue, because when you come with this document, you take it to SLASPA first. SLASPA will verify the information on the document, and they will indicate on that document what location the goods are in. Then you take it to a SLASPA portal. The SLASPA portal will take the document and find the cargo based on the location that SLASPA gives. So then they bring it to the examination station. Customs goes to the examination station to examine it. So the information on the barrel must correspond with the information on the document. If the information is not correct, as anything else, when customs gets there to do the inspection, if there is a discrepancy in terms of the marks and numbers, the names, the addresses, customs will highlight that. So in most cases, if there is this error, the importer will be asked by customs to get that corrected. So that importer will have to go back to the agent and get the agent to correct the document in order for it to correspond with the cargo. So once that is in order, once the information is correct, Customs Department will do the examination of the goods, do the assessment of the taxes, and collect the taxes. As long as that is in order, the Customs Department will give you a release, a customs release for your cargo. The customs release is basically to say to Slapper, Customs have verified and done their due diligence, and everything is in order, and as a result, the cargo can be released. So for rent, for storage charges, that is the responsibility of the St. Lucia Seaport Authority. So then you go to SLASPA. So for cargo in the shed, for air cargo is after 7 days. The law says after 7 days, it should be transferred to a Queen's warehouse. Well, now it's a King's warehouse or Customs warehouse. We do not have customs warehouses on the port. So as long as the cargo stays beyond 14 days, SLASPA now takes responsibility for it. The customs laws also give the Customs Department any goods that have not been cleared out of the shed for a period between, say, 2 months, well, in terms of perishable goods, within 7 days, the controller of customs can sell it. Anything beyond 2 months to 3 months, the Customs Department, it now basically belongs to the state, and the Customs Department could dispose of it by way of auction. So that's written in law. That's what it is. So in order for them to get that aspect of it sorted out, that is something they would have to address with the St. Lucia Seaport Authority or the local shipping agent.
Okay, so we have some questions.
Not customs.
Yeah, we have some questions from the viewers. And one of the questions is, why is the customer having to pay the storage?
Well, SLASPA, based on the SLASPA policy, or I cannot even remember it. The last time I read the SLASPA, it's a while. I think SLASPA gives you, for sea cargo, they give you 5 days or 7 days after the date of importation, where the cargo is stored without the payment of rent charges. And any time after the 5 or 7 days, then they charge you based on the, I think it's the size or the weight. I'm not too sure how it's calculated. So they charge you storage based on the cubic measurement, or I don't know. I suspect it's a cubic measurement.
Yeah.
So if you spend 5 days, you pay the fee for the size of the package that you have, multiplied by 5 days. So, but you have at least 5 days grace from the date of importation. Or I think, for example, if the container comes on the port, like what was happening for Christmas, where you find we had tons of containers sitting there and the shed did not have space. And they were opening containers based on the amount of space they had. So you find that containers will be laid for months. So what they would do is, once they open the container and they stuff the container into the shed, pack the goods into the shed, you have that 7 days grace from the date the container was opened, and 5 days, 7 days after, then you start paying the rent. So if your goods were held on the dock for when there's congestion, if it is held on the dock for an extended period of time, based on the congestion, based on the space constraint, I know that you will be charged rent 5 or 7 days after the opening and the stuffing of that container. But if it's a situation, like you mentioned, where the shipper and the exporter have the issues and have not given release, because once the shipper gives SLASPA the release order to release the cargo, SLASPA will release it. They will not hold it back. They will release it. But they have to get that authorization, I think, from the shipping agent. So that situation that customer has found herself in has absolutely nothing to do with the Customs Department. She should address that issue with the St. Lucia and Seaports Authority to find out what the issue is, and as well the agent, the local agent.
Yeah, the local agent, I believe they're saying that the shipping company in the United States have not paid their dues, and so there's a lien on the shipment.
Right. So that's who's saying that? Is it the local agent?
The local agent, yeah.
Right. So if if the local agent is saying that, then the customer should challenge the local agent. That has absolutely nothing to do with customs.
Mm-hmm. So you did answer the question as to why the barrels are being delayed for months, and you said that could be as a result of lack of space on the port.
Yes, for the Christmas season, I think one of the issues was due to lack of space, because I had some things coming there, and believe you me, I almost had to give up on it, because I mean, Christmas goods, we end up clearing it in January. You know what I mean?
Wow. And some people got their wedding
supplies
delayed and stuff.
Yeah, the consignment of goods that came in December. It took more than a month to work the container. So we cleared the goods in January.
Wow.
You know, there were people who came to St. Lucia because a container got here. In fact, 2 containers. And the containers were on the dock for a month. That some of the persons who came to St. Lucia so that they could have cleared their goods to take it to their home for Christmas have to fly back and have somebody else clear the goods for them.
That is
I mean, what happened there, Christmas past there, that in itself was a nightmare. That and it should never happen, but it did happen. So
what do you would say that is poor management?
Well, I will have my say on that.
You know what? Yes, I would put you on the spot on that one.
I would have my say on that because I've been having a lot of complaints with what was going on the port.
Yeah.
While I was there, you know, sometimes while I was there, I used to take some radical action.
Yeah.
Because I really wanted things to work.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't like things to bother customers. You know, customers must always get service at any time they come for service.
Yeah.
And because the shed is controlled by Clasper, customs would put out the personnel. But when Clasper wants to close the shed, customs cannot. There's nothing customs can do because Clasper will close the shed. And I think Clasper needs to coordinate, or rather, look at the issue of closing, working with the union, because the union of operators, their lunch hour, they leave for lunch at 11:30. So if you're in the shed and your barrel is still on a rack at 11:30, unless an operator just hangs around to help you out, you have to come back for 1 o'clock. You know, and that really, now we customs, they're there. You know, the officers are there. And if the goods are being brought for examination, the officers will do the examination. But when it's 12 o'clock and Clasper wants to close the shed, the officers will not stay inside the shed. Because they have to lock the cargo shed. So officers go for lunch and then they come back. And even on their return, if Clasper is not there to open up the shed, the officers just have to basically hang out on the port.
Wow. Are these sheds,
only when Clasper
temperature control? Climate control?
No, it's not.
Oh, boy.
No, it's not.
Wow. That is something that we got to talk about as an incoming government.
Well, yeah, these are things you have to look at. I think one of the best ideas that came out was the transfer of the cargo port to cul-de-sac. I think whichever government that does that would be doing a very good service to St. Lucia, because Castries Port is definitely not getting any bigger. And we see the issue with storage, the amount of storage that, you drive by that port and you see towering mountains of containers just back there, you know? And some of these containers like I mentioned, I have been talking about it on Newsbeat and making some comments on it. Some of the vessels, because of the cost of storage of containers in St. Lucia, which I think is about the best storage place for them in St. Lucia, is the cheapest in the Caribbean. So vessels don't really, it's only when they need containers, they'll come here. I have seen vessels come to St. Lucia. This put down 80, 90 containers. They have hundreds of empties on the port, and they would sail without the empties.
Wow.
So, you understand?
So something got to be, something got to be done.
Now, I could say tropical shipping.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes tropical shipping would send a vessel to take the empty. And they just come in and load the empty. I have seen that happen. But a lot of the containers on the port, a lot of them are empty containers. So if you have empty containers, you have 100 empty 20s and 100 empty 40s. You know the amount of space that it is?
That's a lot of space.
That's 200 containers.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's just taking space.
So
but one of the things I want...
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
One of the things I want to mention, and Customs has really not looked into it, but this is something that I believe Customs should look into. All goods imported into this country, once it spends more than 3 months, it's liable to go up on auction. The Customs Department can auction. Customs has never looked at the containers that in the storage there. Why have not Customs not looked at it and say we're going to auction it?
Yeah.
Now, I was the controller, just imagine. And I'm sitting there and I realize this congestion is space. That's something that could happen.
Yeah.
And it's well within the law for them to say these containers have been there for so many months and we'll sell it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm certain if Customs make that move, you will see space coming from miles to end up on the port.
Yeah.
Because I don't think these agents will risk their containers being sold.
No.
But it is just something that I just thought of, while looking at this space issue. It's just something that I thought of. While I was there, it never crossed my mind because Customs had never looked at containers. But the containers are actually imported goods. Because if you want to buy an empty container, you have to do an inspection on it and pay customs duty on it.
Oh.
You're aware of that?
No.
Yes. A shipping agent cannot you can't walk into a shipping agent and say you want to buy a container and he sell it for you and go with it, The duties have to be paid.
Wow.
Yes. So it is an imported item as well.
It is,
we don't make containers in St. Lucia.
Wow.
So that is something probably the control of customs could be probably look at. I mean, it didn't cross my mind. I'll be very honest with you.
Yeah.
It never crossed my mind. But now, if you're looking to create space,
you got to go that route.
There are things, let me tell you, there are things you can't do as a department to move and shift people. And when I was control of customs, when I was in customs, I would do things to make people move. There were a lot of people, a lot of agencies who used to drag their feet. And when it comes to dealing with me, they know my position. I'll tell them, you all do this, you all do that, or I will do this, I will do that. And people move. These things get happening, starts to happen. Because I always maintain that I was very much acquainted with the customs laws. I knew the customs laws inside out. I knew what my powers were. And I knew how to enforce the laws, the customs laws. One thing I could say, in my years at customs, I took my time, many, many years, to learn the customs law, learn what authority customs have, what level of power customs have. I took that as my personal responsibility to teach myself the laws and to enforce the customs laws. Pastor Daffy, any question from me?
Yes, all I know is that we have a major problem, and it seems that this Labour Party have failed when it comes to our ports, We have Viewfort sitting up there with all the space in the world. We have cul-de-sac. There's so much that can be done immediately in order to ease the burden of Castries. But we look forward to your government on the leadership of Alan Shastner coming in and doing some radical stuff in order to develop our ports and to get stuff going in the country. Because when you have people's goods being delayed, it brings frustration. And then you have people, people get frustrated on the port. Just getting a barrel, people get frustrated. You got to stand outside on a shed, stand up in the hot sun to get a barrel. I went down there and I saw it. I was like, wow, we got to stand up outside the fence. And then there's this little booth in the place you have to go. I'm like, this is 2025. What are we doing? What are we doing with logistics? But we got to improve on it. And I thank you so much for your information. And I would love to, I'm inviting you personally on the platform. I know you have a lot to share. I listen to you a lot in your presentations, and I know you would want the space. I will give you the space and the time once you're available.
Correct.
Yeah.
But one thing I want to say, Pastor Garfield, in order for us to enjoy omelette, we have to break a lot of eggs.
Yeah.
And after that election, if St. Lucians want to eat omelette, a lot of eggs have to be broken.
So let's start
we
cracking them
need
up.
to right this thing. We need to fix it.
Yeah.
It is broken. It is badly broken.
Yeah.
And we as a government, we as a United Workers Party government, when we come in, it will be fixed.
Yeah, look forward to that.
It will be fixed.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Mr. Chico, for being here with us. It's a pleasure.
You're very welcome. You're very
welcome.
welcome.
All right.
Have a pleasant night.
Yes, thank you. That was Mr. Peter Chico. There he's going up against the Prime Minister of St. Lucia. I have one more call, I believe, that is sitting on the line. Let us pull in that call into the platform quickly. I know I'm losing my voice a bit, but let's pull in that call. It was on the waiting list, all right? All right, good night. Caller, you're on the air. Thank you so much.
Yes, Brother Garfield. You see the problem with Brother Garfield? The port has outlived it. The commercial side of the port has outlived its time in doing Castries.
That's true.
And it is unfortunate that the opposite the port, it's a community called Fulasho. And that community, like Bannons on the other side, is represented by Ernest himself. And it is a shame that community has been represented by over three different members of the St. Lucia Labour Party, and we find ourselves in this great blunder. But it is not a surprise, because we have a minister of housing there as well, breaking down everything in and replacing it with wood. I believe they gave him $10 million. I believe by now they could have had a few condos across the island for people to have housing. I spoke to you about that last time. And the next thing is the port. And it was Stevenson came forward again in them time, because Stevenson had a book, and that book had a master plan that was drawn up many years ago. And it would have seen the total development of St. Lucia. And the Millennium Highway was the first phase of that great project. And one of the most important things in the project was moving the port, the commercial side of the containers, and building a mega port in Cul-de-sac. And by doing that strategic move, Jamaica did it before us now, because Jamaica has something called port hubs. A port hub is where they stock millions of containers on a daily basis now. With St. Lucia, you heard the Prime Minister say St. Lucia is very strategic. And the finding of gas and oil in the south, mainly Guyana and Trinidad, and the geopolitics that is happening with Maduro Philip JP, a good friend. I heard Stevenson King was asking him asphalt some time back. You don't know already. It was the time of infrastructure. So St. Lucia was poised to be in a very strategic place because we're roughly 1,000 kilometers from Panama Canal and about from Europe as well and all those countries. We could have been a main stopping point for refueling. You can put a dockyard for fixing mega boats, medium size. You could have put in a massive storages, whether online or offshore storages, because there's a lot of shipment will be starting when Guyana fully comes online in terms of producing oil and gas. It needs a place to stock it. Yeah. So instead of a boat going from Florida all the way to Guyana, and from Guyana all the way to Florida, one boat can just come and store it in St. Lucia, and another boat will come up from Florida to collect it. So they're meeting at the halfway point. The same thing from Panama to West Africa.
Yeah.
And that is what you call forward thinking, and that is why I told you, those guys, this era we have in right now, it is the last years of the Kenny Anthony era, and I hope that it has to. It all depends on. You know, the main person, it all depends on, you see when Rush wins in Central Castries, that will tip the balance of power in a way that, no, it was 3 prime ministers that tried and they didn't do it. It started by Kenny Anthony, Sir John, I guess, Alan Chasney. But Alan Chasney actually got him fired. And for some tilt of fate, the St. Lucia Labour Party embraced him, going against the leader that built the St. Lucia Labour Party before adult suffrage and all those different things. So my point, what I'm trying to tell you, Brother Garfield, is that it is up to the United Workers' Party right now to make a decisive stand. Because if you have noticed across the island, and it is the first time in history those things have been happening, and people must not just watch events and unfold and not understand the events. It is the first time we're getting truckers striking in all my history, because I grew up under Kenny Anthony era, 1996, when he was 97, and all this time we're still in Kenny Anthony era because Philip JP is Prime Minister today. So you can see in the 2000s, Kenny Anthony and the Labour Party maybe have run over 15 years or going on to 20 years now. So I'm a rough in my 20s as well. So I grew up under, you see, the thing is, Sir John feed the people with the famine and the green gold. Kenny Anthony tried to educate the people, but he failed miserably. And what he did, he built more jails. They built more jails, and more prisons. and that is it. So we reach a junction in our life, in our history, Brother Garfield, is either we change our trajectory, because it is not working. You know, like I told you, this home port and on all what is happening with the tourism and what Alan Chasney came about to try to do. And those guys won an election and lies and trickeries and misguided information and half-truths. And that is why we're in this great blunder, because we have a water crisis that is coming. We have a health crisis. We have a security crisis on the international scale, because we are allies with Maduro. Trinidad have sent an ultimatum to Maduro and his government that anybody that tries to come in Trinidad waters will be the army and the police they're giving them use brute force. So this tells us now where we, as the Helen of the West, and we're one of the leaders in the Caribbean, we're one of the great countries in the Caribbean. We used to be the big economy in the OACS. What would St. Lucia, when it was with Guyana, remember Venezuela and Guyana had a problem. Forget Philip JP took Maduro's side. Although Guyana, we are part of the OACS as well. Trinidad now, that's an ultimatum. Who said are we going to pick? It is not Joe Biden that is in power anymore. It is Donald Trump. And Maduro is not a friend of Donald Trump. And that is why I tell you, a lot of things is happening not by chance, Brother Garfield. We're on the verge of losing visas to travel to America and the European Union. You know, the French, they're trying their best with us. We're not even trying with them because, you know, so many things, not just in policing. Martinique, all those different islands, those islands can provide basic things for Philip J. to learn as a prime minister. You understand? And it will not work. We must, that's what I always stand on that. We must try to make those guys call it the election by August. If not by August, if it's not by August, December. Because, you see, my last point, Brother Garfield, just imagine Richard Frederick being the prime minister of this country. And watch all the vlogs, all the things that he have done over the years which kind of help you, and the short postings and the coming on his show and violating women's right, men's right, everybody's right, left, right, and center. All what you see that is happening. Like I always tell you, there's two camps in the Senusa Labour Party right now. There's the Philip J. camp and there's the Richard Frederick camp. And believe me, when the push comes to shove, Philip J. has to step down as Prime Minister and let Richard Frederick be the Prime Minister, because Richard Frederick is the Prime Minister now in shadow. But if we make the Senusa Labour Party win the next general election, Richard Frederick will definitely be the Prime Minister and the new leader of the Senusa Labour Party. And that is a fact, because you know why? When you look around in his team, there's Baby there, that's a guy in Rosalie. There's Joachim, that's his good friend. Oh, Stevenson King's boy. That's the same thing Stevenson King was doing Alan Shasta with the roads and the complaints is the same thing he's doing Philip JPI. While all Richard Frederick roads in Castro Central are being paved and not painted, because we have gotten reports that there are vagrants or homeless people painting the roads for the safety of the children. So, and I heard Stevenson King came on news and talk about the man don't know what he's doing. The man knew what he's doing, because by the Anglican primary school, there was always a pedestrian crossing there. In front of courts, by the health center, there was always a pedestrian crossing there. So they paved the roads, but they never paint no road. Not even the Millennium Road is painted. No road in St. Lucia is painted. So maybe that's why a lot of people is dying. I thank you, my brother.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you so much for calling, my friend. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And so I like to give people the opportunity to speak, but we have come to the end of the show. We continue our investigations on the prime shipping situation. We continue to promote the United Workers' Party as the incoming government of St. Lucia. And so we ask for all people to get involved in the discussions. Don't be afraid to speak up with all the threats and the nastiness that you see out there. You got to remain focused, remain true to your country. We demand progress, we demand accountability, and we look forward to breathing again, a new administration coming in to deal with our ports, to ensure that Viewfort is developed, and that we look for other areas where we can expand our water area so we can accommodate ships. We have Soufriere, we have Viewfort. There are other communities that we can use to do a lot more. We are in a fast developing world, and St. Lucia cannot be left behind. Right now, you are being left behind with ports, with logistics, with shipping, with a whole sort of stuff, with airports, with roads, with a lot of basic stuff that we should have been way advanced with. We are still crawling along and just hoping to burn time. But this time we're going to have a serious reset. It is necessary. The time is now. We do not have any more opportunities, my friends. This is the moment. This is the time. And all must get involved. So Dennery South, congratulations to you on your support to Ben. We look forward to engaging him and many others on the platform. And so have a beautiful night, folks, and may God bless you. as you continue to be peaceful, to be loving and kind, and to and to love mercy in your country. Thank you so much for being here with us, everybody. Have a beautiful evening.
At the SLP's Conference of Delegates in Vieux-Fort, Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre made a desperate attempt to rewrite history.
You will remember that the United Workers' Party only gave COVID support to NIC contributors.
This claim is absolutely false. The truth? In July 2020, under the UWP administration, 5,000 St. Lucians who were non-contributors of NIC received $500 per month for 3 months to help them survive the pandemic. Prime Minister Pierre knows the facts, yet he chose to lie to the nation. Why? To mislead and divide. St. Lucia deserves a leader who values integrity, one who speaks the truth, not one who tries to twist it. Pierre, pardon. We need real leadership.